Life is hard, and for young people, it's even harder. The world is full of traps, pitfalls, and dangers that can tear you down if you're not careful. But there are ways to survive, to thrive, and to overcome the challenges that life throws your way. These 10 life lessons are the keys to your survival. They'll help you stay strong, stay focused, and stay alive. These lessons are the only thing standing between you and the abyss. So listen up and listen well. These lessons are your lifeline. Use them wisely, and they'll keep you from falling. Ignore them and you're on your own. The choice is yours. Number 1. Take care of your health. Your body is the only thing you have in this world. Treat it well and it will take care of you. But neglect it, it will turn against you. Don't be fooled by instant gratification or the temptation to indulge in unhealthy habits. Exercise regularly, eat a balanced diet, and get enough sleep. Otherwise, you'll be left with a body that's worn out and riddled with disease. Number 2. Learn from your mistakes. Failure is not something to be feared, but something to be learned from. Every mistake you make is an opportunity to grow and improve. Don't be afraid to take risks and try new things. But when you do fail, don't give up or make excuses. Instead, own up your mistakes, learn from them, and use that knowledge to do better next time. Number 3. Embrace change. Life is full of uncertainty and unexpected twists and turns, but the ability to adapt and thrive in the face of change is what sets successful men apart from the rest. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and try something new. Embrace the unknown and the challenges that come with it. By doing so, you'll become more resilient, stronger, and better equipped to face whatever life throws your way. Number 4. Develop good habits. Habits are what make or break a man. They shape your thoughts, action, and ultimately your character. Make it a habit to prioritize your time, set goals, and build strong relationships with those around you. Cultivate habits and align with your values and principles. And watch as you become the man of integrity and purpose. Number 5. Keep learning. A man's mind is his greatest weapon. It's what sets him apart from the rest of the pack. Keep your mind sharp by reading, watching, and learning. Seek out knowledge wherever you can find it and make it a lifelong pursuit. By doing so, you'll become a man who's capable of critical thinking, problem solving, and innovation. Number 6. Practice empathy. Strength and compassion are not mutual exclusive. A real man knows how to balance the two. Practice empathy and try to see things from other people's perspective. By doing so, you'll become a man who can lead with both strength and compassion, and who's capable of building strong, meaningful relationships with others. Number 7. Take responsibility. A man doesn't blame others for his mistake. He takes full responsibility of his actions, no matter the consequences. Don't be afraid to own up your mistakes and accept the consequences that come with them. By doing so, you'll become a man of honor who's respected and admired by those who are around him. Number 8. Build resilience. Life is tough. It's full of challenges, setbacks, and failures. But a real man doesn't back down from a fight. He's resilient and he bounces back stronger than ever. Build resilience by facing adversity head on, learning from your mistakes, and never give up. By doing so, you'll become a man who's capable of overcoming any obstacles that comes your way. Number 9. Pursue your passions. A man who doesn't pursue his passion is a man who's living a life half lived. Follow your heart and chase your dreams. the risks and step outside of your comfort zone. By doing so, you'll become a man who's full of purpose and passion, who's capable of achieving great things. Value relationships. The relationships you build in life are what truly matter. They shape who you are and what you stand for. Value your relationship with your family, friends, and loved ones. Invest time and energy into building strong bonds. While these life lessons may seem daunting and dark, they are the harsh realities of life that man must face. Ignoring them will only lead to a life of weakness and insignificance. Embrace the darkness and let it fuel your growth and development. Remember, a man has faced the darkest depths of life is the one who emerged the strongest. So take these lessons to heart and watch as you become a man who can overcome any obstacles, lead with purpose and strength, and leave a lasting impact on the world. If you want to be the master of your life, please subscribe and hit the like button. Remember, the road to greatness is a dark and treacherous one, but with the right mindset, you can overcome any obstacles and become the man you were meant to be. So hit the subscribe button. Let's conquer the world together.
I found that nothing in life is worthwhile unless you take risks. Nothing. Nelson Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living." Now, I'm sure in your experiences in school and applying to college and picking your major and deciding what you want to do with life, I'm sure people have told you to make sure you have something to fall back on. Make sure you got something to fall back on, honey. Dreams without goals are just dreams. Reggie Jackson struck out 2,600 times in his career, the most in the history of baseball. But you don't hear about the strikeouts. People remember the home runs. Fall forward. Thomas Edison conducted 1,000 failed experiments. Did you know that? I didn't know that. Because the 1,001st was the light bulb. Fall forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success. You've got to take risks, and I'm sure you've probably heard that before, but I want to talk to you about why that's so important. You will fail at some point in your life. Accept it. You will lose. You will embarrass yourself. You will suck at something. There's no doubt about it. And I know that's probably not a traditional message for a graduation ceremony, but hey, I'm telling you, embrace it because it's inevitable. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed and I prayed. But I continued to fail and fail and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. The point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did. Just imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? I just
The beautiful thing about learning is that nobody can take that away from you. And learning is really, in the broadest sense, what I really want to talk about today, because your education, of course, isn't ending here. In many ways, it's only just begun. The world has so many lessons to teach you. I consider the world, this earth, to be like a school, and our life, the classrooms. And sometimes here in this planet Earth school, the lessons often come dressed up as detours or roadblocks, and sometimes as full-blown crises. And the secret I've learned to getting ahead is being open to the lessons from the grandest universe of all, that is the universe itself. It's being able to walk through life eager and open to self-improvement and that which is going to best help you evolve, because that's really why we're here, to evolve as human beings. So, to grow into being more of ourselves, always moving to the next level of understanding, the next level of compassion and growth. I think one of the greatest compliments I've ever received, I interviewed with a reporter when I was first starting out in Chicago, and then many years later I saw the same reporter and she said to me, "You know what? You really haven't changed. You've just become more of yourself." And that is really what we're all trying to do. Become more of ourselves. And I believe that there is a lesson in almost everything that you do in every experience, and getting the lesson is how you move forward. It's how you enrich your spirit. And trust me, I know that inner wisdom is more precious than wealth. The more you spend it, the more you gain. So today, I just want to share a few lessons. The 3 lessons that have had the greatest impact on my life have to do with feelings, with failure, and with finding happiness. A year after I left college, I was given the opportunity to co-anchor the 6 o'clock news in Baltimore, because the whole goal in the media at the time I was coming up was that you try to move to larger markets, and Baltimore was a much larger market than Nashville. So getting the 6 o'clock news co-anchor job at 22 was such a big deal. It felt like the biggest deal in the world at the time. And I was so proud because I was finally going to have my chance to be like Barbara Walters, which is who I'd been trying to emulate since the start of my TV career. So I was 22 years old, making $22,000 a year. And it's where I met my best friend, Gail, who was an intern at the same TV station. And once we became friends, we'd say, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. You're making $22,000 and you're only 22. Imagine when you're 40 and you're making 40. When I turned 40, I was so glad that didn't happen. So here I am, 22, making $22,000 a year. And yet it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right. The first sign, as President Hennessy was saying, was when they tried to change my name. The news director said to me at the time, "Nobody's going to remember Oprah, so we want to change your name. We've come up with a name we think that people will remember and people will like. It's a friendly name, Susie." But my name wasn't Susie, and I'd grown up not really loving my name, because when you're looking for your little name on the lunch boxes and the license plate tags, you're never going to find Oprah. So I grew up not loving the name, but once I was asked to change it, I thought, well, it is my name, and do I look like a Susie to you? So I thought, no, it doesn't feel right. I'm not going to change my name, and if people remember it or not, that's okay. And then they said they didn't like the way I looked. This was in 1976, where your boss could call you in and say, "I don't like the way you look." Now that would be called lawsuit. I really hated being sent to report on other people's tragedies as a part of my daily duty, knowing that I was just expected to observe when everything in my instinct told me that I should be doing something, I should be lending a hand. And after 8 months, I lost that job. They said I was too emotional, I was too much. But since they didn't want to pay off the contract, they put me on a talk show in Baltimore. And the moment I sat down on that show, the moment I did, I felt like I'd come home. I realized that TV could be more than just a playground but a platform for service, for helping other people lift their lives. And the moment I sat down doing that talk show, it felt like breathing. It felt right. And that's where everything that followed for me began. And I got that lesson. When you're doing the work you're meant to do, it feels right. And every day is a bonus, regardless of what you're getting paid. It's true. And how do you know when you're doing something right? How do you know that? It feels so. What I know now is that feelings are really your GPS system for life. When you're supposed to do something or not supposed to do something, your emotional guidance system lets you know. The trick is to learn to check your ego at the door and start checking your gut instead. Every right decision I've made, every right decision I've ever made has come from my gut. And every wrong decision I've ever made was a result of me not listening to the greater voice of myself. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. That's the lesson. And that lesson alone will save you, my friends, a lot of grief. Even doubt means don't. This is what I've learned. There are many times when you don't know what to do. When you don't know what to do, get still. Get very still until you do know what to do. And when you do get still and let your internal motivation be the driver, not only will your personal life improve, but you will gain a competitive edge in the working world as well. Because as Daniel Pink writes in his bestseller, A Whole New Mind, he says we're entering a whole new age, and he calls it the conceptual age, where traits that set people apart today are going to come from our hearts, right brain, as well as our heads. It's no longer just the logical, linear, rules-based thinking that matters, he says. It's also empathy and joyfulness and purpose, inner traits that have transcendent worth. These qualities bloom when we're doing what we love. So when we're involving the wholeness of ourselves in our work, both our expertise and our emotion. So I say to you, forget about the fast lane. If you really want to fly, just harness your power to your passion. Honor your calling. Everybody has one. Trust your heart, and success will come to you. So how do I define success? Let me tell you, money's pretty nice. I'm not going to stand up here and tell you that it's not about money, because money is very nice. I like money. It's good for buying things. But having a lot of money does not automatically make you a successful person. What you want is money and meaning. You want your work to be meaningful, because meaning is what brings the real richness to your life. What you really want is to be surrounded by people you trust and treasure, and by people who cherish you. That's when you're really rich. So lesson one, follow your feelings. If it feels right, move forward. If it doesn't feel right, don't do it. Now I want to talk a little bit about failings, because nobody's journey is seamless or smooth. We all stumble, we all have setbacks. If things go wrong, you hit a dead end, as you will. It's just life's way of saying, time to change course. So ask every failure. This is what I do. Every failure, every crisis, every difficult time, I say, what is this here to teach me? And as soon as you get the lesson, you get to move on. If you really get the lesson, you pass and you don't have to repeat the class. If you don't get the lesson, it shows up wearing another pair of pants or skirt to give you some remedial work. And what I found is that difficulties come when you don't pay attention to life's whisper, because life always whispers to you first. And if you ignore the whisper, sooner or later, you'll get a scream. Whatever you resist persists, but if you ask the right question, not why is this happening, but what is this here to teach me? What is this here to teach me? It puts you in the place and space to get the lesson you need. My friend Eckhart Tolle who's written this wonderful book called A New Earth. It's all about letting the awareness of who you are stimulate everything that you do. He puts it like this. He says, don't react against a bad situation, merge with that situation instead, and the solution will arise from the challenge. Because surrendering yourself doesn't mean giving up, it means acting with responsibility. Okay, many of you know that, as President Hennessy said, I started this school in Africa. And I founded the school where I'm trying to give South African girls a shot at a future like yours, Stanford. And I spent 5 years making sure that school would be as beautiful as the students. I wanted every girl to feel her worth reflected in her surroundings. So I checked every blueprint, I picked every pillow, I was looking at the grout in between the bricks, I knew every thread count of the sheets, I chose every girl from the villages, from 9 provinces, and yet last fall I was faced with a crisis I'd never anticipated. I was told that one of the dorm matrons was suspected of sexual abuse. Well, that was, as you can imagine, devastating news. First I cried, actually I sobbed for about a half an hour, and then I said, let's get to it. That's all you get, is a half an hour. You need to focus on the now, what you need to do now. So I contacted a child trauma specialist, I put together a team of investigators, I made sure the girls had counseling and support, and Gail and I got on a plane and flew to South Africa. And the whole time I kept asking that question, what is this here to teach me? And as difficult as that experience has been, I got a lot of lessons. I understand now the mistakes I made because I had been paying attention to all of the wrong things. I built that school from the outside in, when what really mattered was the inside out. So it's a lesson that applies to all of our lives as a whole. What matters most is what's inside. What matters most is the sense of integrity, of quality, and beauty. I got that lesson. And what I know is that the girls came away with something too. They've emerged from this more resilient and knowing that their voices have power. And their resilience and spirit have given me more than I could ever give to them, which leads me to my final lesson, the one about finding happiness, which we could talk about all day, but I know you have other wacky things to do. Not a small topic, this is, finding happiness. But in some ways, I think it's the simplest of all. Gwendolyn Brooks wrote a poem for her children. It's called Speech to the Young, Speech to the Progress Toward. And she says at the end, live not for battles won, live not for the end of the song, live in the along. She's saying, like Eckhart Tolle, that you have to live for the present. You have to be in the moment. Whatever has happened to you in your past has no power over this present moment because life is now. But I think she's also saying, be a part of something. Don't live for yourself alone. This is what I know for sure. In order to be truly happy, you must live along with, and you have to stand for something larger than yourself, because life is a reciprocal exchange. To move forward, you have to give back. And to me, that is the greatest lesson of life. To be happy, you have to give something back. The 3 things that I want to leave with you, just these 3. I could do 10, I could do a whole life class. But just these 3 things will carry you if you let them. First and foremost, knowing who you are. Knowing who you are. Being able to answer this question, who am I and what do I want? You know, many times when I go out of the country, I am baffled by that question. To explain what is your occupation. I've stood there for 10 minutes. Well, am I a talk show host? Well, I'm more than a talk show host. Am I a businesswoman? I'm a businesswoman. I'm more than a businesswoman. Am I an entrepreneur? I'm more than an entrepreneur. So I just leave it blank or self-employed. So I'm not asking for the roles that you play as daughters. I'm not asking that question. What are the roles that you play as a daughter, as a friend, as a sister? You're going to be a lawyer, you're going to teach, you're going to be a pharmacist. I'm asking the bigger question of who am I? Who am I really? My answer is I am God's child. I am that which is born of all that is. I am, as Pierre de Chardin said, a spiritual being having a human experience, come trailing the breath of the ancestors yet, but trailing the breath of the angels. And understanding that because I am connected to the source of all that is possible for me. That's who I am. And what do I want? I don't want to just be successful in the world. I don't want to just make a mark or have a legacy. The answer to that question for me is I want to fulfill the highest, truest expression of myself as a human being. I want to fulfill the promise that the Creator dreamed when He dreamed the cells that made up me. What do I want? You must have some kind of vision for your life. Even if you don't know the plan, you have to have a direction in which you choose to go. I never was the kind of woman who liked to get in a car and just go for a ride. I had a boyfriend who would say, let's just go for a ride. I want to know, where are we going? Do we have a destination? Is there a plan? Or are we just riding? What I've learned is that's a great metaphor for life. You want to be in the driver's seat of your own life, because if you're not, life will drive you. So, knowing who you really are in this space and time that we embody. That's number one. What do you want? Who are you? Number two, you must find a way to serve. Martin Luther King said that not everybody can be famous, but everybody can be great, because greatness is determined by service. Now, we live in a world where everybody wants to be famous and where we admire people for just being famous. We think being known brings us value. The truth is, all of that will fade in time. In 3 years, you won't be able to name the housewives of Atlanta. The real truth is that service and significance, service and the significance that you bring to your service is that which is lasting. So to be able to, whatever your occupation or job or talent or gift is, our honorees today getting doctorate degrees, to apparently opposite fields, HIV and AIDS and the spoken word. But what they have in common is service, using the spoken word in service to community and the world, using your knowledge and information about HIV and AIDS and medicine in service to the world. And if you look at all the most successful people in the world, whether they know it or not, they have that paradigm of service. Everybody's talking about Mark Zuckerberg and IPO. Service. Jay-Z rapping. Service. Through the word, to people, through song. For many years, I was really just happy to be on TV, and people would stop and say, "Oh, you on TV?" "Yeah, I'm on TV. I like being on TV. It's a nice job." And it was about the time that I received my honorary doctorate from Spelman around 1993. So I don't know if that had something to do with it. I thought of myself as Dr. Winfrey. That I went back and I took a long look at what it was I was doing on TV and made a decision that I was no longer going to just be on TV, but I was going to use TV as a platform, as a force for good, and not be used by TV. And I will tell you, my decision to make that significant change in the way I operated on television, using television as a service, changed my career exponentially. Service through medicine, service through art, using whatever it is you produce, your product, as a way of giving back to the world. When you shift the paradigm of whatever it is you choose to do to service, and you bring significance to that, success will, I promise you, follow you. Service and significance equals success. That's number 2. Number 3, it's so simple, but so hard to do. Always do the right thing. Always. Be excellent. People notice. Think of how you notice. You go to Taco Bell, somebody gives you an extra napkin and some sauce. You notice. You want to go back to that person, because even at Taco Bell, excellence shows itself. Be excellent. Let excellence be your brand. Everybody talks about building a brand. I never even knew what that was. When people say, "You're a brand," I would say, "No, I'm just Oprah." What I recognize now is that my choice to, in every way, in every example, in every experience, to do the right thing and the excellent thing is what has created the brand. Years ago, I did an ad for Revlon for an ad they were doing called Unforgettable Women. And what I know is that when you are excellent, you become unforgettable. People remember you. You stand out. Regardless of what it is, you become an unforgettable woman. And that is what we all want. We want to be unforgettable and not forgettable. So doing the right thing, even when nobody knows you're doing the right thing, will always bring the right thing to you. I promise you that. Why? Because the third law of motion is always at work. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That is so true in all of our lives. That's what Newton said. Celia in The Color Purple said it. Everything you even try to do to me, already done to you. Everything you even try to do to me, already done to you. So you don't have to worry about revenge or getting back at somebody, making sure they pay. You just have to do the right thing, and the right thing will follow you even when people don't support it. I remember many times on my show. There are many shows y'all never saw. And the reason you didn't see them is because I got the last vote. And I remember 2010, my team, hardest working team in television, had done this interview with a woman who turns out she was a Sunday school teacher by day and a sex addict at night. Ooh. And they were like, you won't believe it. We got her going out, we got her with the men, and we get to show her, and she was willing to show us everything. I sat down with a woman for an interview that was taped. And during the process of the interview, I said, why are you doing this? And she said, oh, I want to help people. I want to tell my story and I want to help people. I said, do you have children? She says, yes, I have a 10-year-old son. I knew right then, this is never going to see the light of day. So we got off the air and I said to the lady, we are not going to air that show. And she said, why? My producer said, why? She knew she was being filmed. She knew what she was saying. She knows what I said, because her son will never get over it. Her son will never get over it. And it's not worth a rating point to me. Not worth a rating point to me to know that there's a 10-year-old boy who's destroyed because his mother went on the Oprah Winfrey show and told all her business. You do the right thing, even when other people think it may not be. And oftentimes, when you make a decision to do the right thing, immediately you're faced with doubt. Was that the right thing? Was that the right decision? I don't know. Was that the right thing? You always know it's the right thing, when in the end, there is peace. You are rewarded by peace in knowing that you did the right thing. The most important thing I have come to know in doing the right thing and making the right choices is understanding what we talked about yesterday. All of you leaving here have the potential for enormous success. There's a price that comes with that. People don't always like you, and they're not always happy for you. And if you surround yourself with people who are not accustomed to your success, they become fearful, they become scared, because you are reflecting back something to them that they don't recognize. Now, they're not going to say, you know, I'm very fearful, because you're reflecting back to me something I don't recognize. They're going to say, you know what they're going to say? They're going to say, who she thinks she is. Who she thinks she is. That only happens when you are around people who do not mean and want and aspire to the best for you. People who want the best for you want you to be your best. So my greatest advice to you is to surround yourself with people who are going to fill your cup until your cup runneth over. So when people say you're so full of yourself, you can say, yeah. Yes, I'm full. I'm so full, my cup runneth over. And to know that once your cup runneth over, you cannot spend your life with your gallon-size offerings, offering them to pint-sized people. You have got to surround yourself with gallon-sized people who can hang in the same company with you, so that you're not offering your gallons to those little pints out there who can't hold it anyway. Choice to Change the World. I love that song. I love hearing you all sing that song. And what I know for sure is that the biggest choices begin and end with you, your internal big questions. Who do I want to be in the world? My relationship to source energy, to all that is God. I'm not talking about what you believe in God. I'm talking about your experience of that which is all life, which is divine and universal. I'm talking about the big deal. Being connected and aligned with that. When you are tuned in and charged into that, whenever you feel empty, you go inside yourself and you connect to the source, and you know that all things are possible. To know that, and to choose to do the right thing in service and significance, I promise you, you will create a vessel of service for yourself first, because you have to honor yourself first. You have to give to yourself first, otherwise you have nothing to give away. You will create a vessel for yourself, for your family, your community, and the world. And those three things will not only lead you to a blessed life. I stand as a witness. My life is so blessed, I can't even take it in sometimes. It will lead you not just to a gifted life and a rewarding life that fills you up, but a sweet life. That's what you want. You want the sweetness. You want it to be so sweet, so that even when the storms come, and they will, you'll know, this too shall pass. This too shall pass. The storm is passing over, and you shall not be moved, because you know who you are.
I want you to remember that life is not a series of just getting a pass or a fail. Life is a series of challenges. And every day won't be an exciting day where people are clapping, patting you on the back, and congratulating you like this day. Life will be full of mistakes that you're gonna make. And unlike when you took those exams and only you and the teacher knew about that score, and maybe your loved ones you shared it with, when you make a mistake, when you fail, and that is an option on a regular basis, it is something you will do. Oftentimes you're going to do it in full view of everybody. That's part of what life is about. Many times you're going to fall flat on your aspirin. And the real issue is whether or not you learn from the mistakes that you make. But always remember, there's always a tomorrow, and things will get better.
Welcome to our channel, where we're all about anime. And today we're counting down the top 10 anime movies of all time. Are you ready to dive into the world of anime cinema? Let's get started. Starting off at number 10, we have Perfect Blue. Perfect Blue is a 1997 Japanese psychological thriller anime film directed by Satoshi Kon. The film is based on the novel of the same name by Yoshikazu Takeuchi. The story follows a pop singer named Mina Kiriko, who is transitioning from her role as a member of a girl group to a solo career as an actress. As her fame grows, she begins to receive threatening messages and strange occurrences. Her reality becomes increasingly distorted as she tries to uncover the truth behind the stalking and protect herself. The film explores themes of identity, fame, and the darker side of the entertainment industry. It was widely acclaimed for its psychological complexity and animation quality upon release, and is considered a classic of the genre. It is not a typical anime movie as it is a psychological thriller movie. Coming in at number 9, we have The Girl Who Leapt Through Time. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time is a 2006 Japanese anime film directed by Mamoru Hosoda. The film is based on the novel of the same name by Yasutaka Tsutsui. The story follows a teenage girl named Makoto Kono, who discovers she has the ability to time leap. She uses her new power to her advantage, skipping school and changing the outcome of events to her liking. However, as she continues to leap through time, she begins to realize that her actions have consequences and that the power to change the past doesn't always lead to a better future. The film explores themes of growing up, responsibility, and the butterfly effect. It was well received by critics and audiences alike and is considered a classic of the coming-of-age genre. At number 8, we have Paprika. Paprika is a 2006 Japanese anime film directed by Satoshi Kon. The story takes place in the near future, where a device called the DC Mini allows scientists to enter and explore people's dreams. When the device is stolen, a researcher named Paprika, who is also the alter ego of the DC Mini inventor, must enter the dream world to retrieve it before it can be used for nefarious purposes. The film explores themes of technology, the subconscious mind, and the boundary between reality and fantasy. It was praised for its visuals, storytelling, and thought-provoking themes and is considered a classic of the sci-fi genre. It was Satoshi Kon's last film before his death in 2010. Coming in at number 7, we have Wolf Children. Wolf Children is a 2012 anime movie that will take you on an emotional journey with a young woman named Hana and her 2 children, Yuki and Ame. Hana's life takes an unexpected turn when she falls in love with a wolfman and gives birth to his children. After her husband's death, Hana has to raise her little ones on her own, but as they grow up, Yuki and Ame realize that they have some unique abilities that set them apart from the rest of the world. The movie is a heartwarming tale that explores the themes of family, identity, and acceptance. It's a classic in the coming-of-age genre, and you'll fall in love with the characters in no time. Number 6 on the list is The Secret World of Arrietty. The Secret World of Arrietty is a 2010 Japanese anime film directed by Hiromasa Yonebayashi. The film is based on the novel The Borrowers by Mary Norton. The story follows a young boy named Sho who discovers a family of tiny people living in his home. He befriends Arrietty, a young borrower, and together they embark on a series of adventures. The film explores themes of friendship, courage, and the power of small things. The animation is breathtaking, with detailed characters and lush landscapes that transport you to a magical world. The story is both charming and heartwarming, making it a classic in the coming-of-age genre. The movie is highly rated by critics and audiences alike, and it's considered a must-watch for fans of anime, fantasy, and family-oriented films. At number 5, we have The Wind Rises. The Wind Rises is a 2013 Japanese anime film directed by Hayao Miyazaki. The film is a fictionalized biography of Jiro Horikoshi, the designer of the Mitsubishi A6M0 fighter plane used by Japan during World War II. The story follows Jiro's passion for aircraft design and the personal sacrifices he made to achieve his dreams. The film explores themes of ambition, sacrifice, and the cost of war. The animation is breathtaking, with detailed characters and lush landscapes that transport you to a historical period. The story is both emotional and thought-provoking, making it a classic in the biographical genre. The movie was critically acclaimed and is considered a must-watch for fans of anime, historical films, and films that explore the human condition. Overall, The Wind Rises is a movie that will take you on a journey of ambition, sacrifice, and the cost of war. With its stunning visuals, thought-provoking story, and emotional depth, this film is sure to leave a lasting impression on you. It is considered one of Hayao Miyazaki's most mature works, and it's a swan song for his career. Coming in at number 4, we have Princess Mononoke. Princess Mononoke is a 1997 Japanese anime film directed by Hayao Miyazaki. The film is set in a fantasy world where humans and animals coexist, but their relationship is often hostile. The story follows a young prince named Ashitaka, who becomes embroiled in a battle between the gods of the forest and the humans who seek to destroy them. He meets a girl named Mononoke, who was raised by wolves, and must choose a side in the conflict. The film explores themes of environmentalism, industrialization, and the balance between humans and nature. The animation is breathtaking, with detailed characters and lush landscapes that transport you to a magical world. One of the most striking aspects of Princess Mononoke is the way it explores the relationship between humans and the natural world. The film raises thought-provoking questions about the impact of human actions on the environment, and the balance between progress and preservation. At number 3, we have Grave of the Fireflies. Grave of the Fireflies is a 1988 Japanese anime film directed by Isao Takahata. The film is set during World War II in Japan and tells the story of 2 siblings, Seita and Setsuko, who are orphaned when their mother dies in an air raid. The 2 children struggle to survive on their own in the aftermath of the bombing and the scarcity of food and resources. The film explores themes of war, loss, and the human cost of conflict. It's a heart-wrenching and emotional story that portrays the reality of war and the innocent victims caught in it. The animation is visually stunning, with a realistic and detailed portrayal of the time period and the effects of the bombing on the people. One of the most striking aspects of Grave of the Fireflies is the way it explores the reality of war and its impact on civilians. The story of Seita and Setsuko is a powerful and emotional journey that will leave you with a deep understanding of the devastating consequences of war. Number 2 on the list is My Neighbor Totoro. My Neighbor Totoro is a 1988 Japanese anime film directed by Hayao Miyazaki. The film is set in rural Japan during the 1950s, and follows the story of two young sisters, Satsuki and Mei, who move with their father to a new home in the countryside while their mother is hospitalized. The sisters soon discover that their home is in close proximity to a magical forest, and they begin to encounter a variety of friendly spirits and creatures, including the titular Totoro, a large and friendly creature who becomes their protector and friend. One of the most striking aspects of My Neighbor Totoro is the way it explores the relationship between children in the natural world. The story of Satsuki, Mei, and Totoro is a heartwarming and charming journey that will leave you feeling nostalgic for the wonders of childhood. And finally, the number 1 anime movie of all time is Spirited Away. Spirited Away is a 2001 Japanese anime film directed by Hayao Miyazaki. The film is set in a fantasy world where a young girl named Chihiro becomes trapped in a spirit world after her family inadvertently stumbles upon a hidden spirit realm while moving to a new home. In this world, she meets a variety of spirits and gods, including the powerful witchy Baba, who runs a bathhouse for spirits. Chihiro must navigate this strange new world and find a way to rescue her parents and return home. The film explores themes of growing up, perseverance, and the importance of family. The animation is visually stunning, with detailed characters and a variety of imaginative and fantastical settings. One of the most striking aspects of Spirited Away is the way it explores the relationship between humans and the spirit world. The film raises thought-provoking questions about the importance of respecting and understanding other cultures and beliefs, and the power of determination and perseverance. The story of Chihiro and her journey in the spirit world is an entertaining and emotional journey that will leave you on the edge of your seat. That's it for our list of the top 10 anime movies of all time. We hope you enjoyed it and maybe even discovered a new movie to watch. Let us know in the comments which one is your favorite, and don't forget to subscribe for more top 10 content.
Welcome to our channel, where we explore the world's most haunted and forbidden places. From castles to hotels, from cities to islands. These locations have a dark history and a reputation for being haunted by the supernatural. Join us on this journey to the world's most haunted and forbidden places, and discover the truth behind the legends and superstitions. First off, the Banff Springs Hotel. Nestled in the heart of the Canadian Rockies lies the Grand Hotel, with a reputation of luxury and hospitality. But beneath its elegant exterior, the Banff Spring Hotel holds a dark and haunted history. It is said that the ghost of a bride who died on her wedding day still haunts the hotel. Guests have reported seeing her ghostly apparition in the ballroom, where she was to have her first dance as a married woman. In addition to the ghost of a bride, the hotel is also said to be haunted by a bellman who has never left the hotel. Despite its haunted reputation, the Banff Spring Hotel remains a popular destination, with guests flocking to stay in the rooms that are said to be haunted. Whether you believe in the ghostly tales or not, one thing is certain. Banff Spring Hotel is a beautiful and unique destination, filled with mystery and intrigue. Next is the Stanley Hotel. In the heart of the Rocky Mountains lies a grand hotel that has captured the imagination of horror fans for decades. The Stanley Hotel is the inspiration behind Stephen King's classic novel, The Shining, and is known for its haunted history and ghostly sightings. Just like the infamous Overlook Hotel from The Shining,
The Stanley Hotel has a dark and haunted history, filled with tales of ghostly sightings, eerie sounds, and mysterious happenings. It is said that the ghostly presence of former guests still haunt the halls of the Stanley Hotel, just like in The Shining. Guests have reported strange noises, eerie sights, and some areas of the hotel are even off limits due to their dark history. And just like in The Shining, the Stanley Hotel's most famous ghost story is that of a young girl who is said to haunt room 217. Guests have reported seeing her ghostly apparition and hearing her laughter echoing through the halls. The room remains open for guests to stay in, but many report feeling a sense of unease and uneasiness during their stay. Whether you're a fan of The Shining or just a lover of all eerie and mysterious, the Stanley Hotel is a must-visit destination. So gather your courage and see if you can survive a night in one of the most haunted hotels in the world. Who knows? You may just have a ghostly encounter of your own during your stay and unlock the secrets of the Stanley Hotel's dark and haunted past.
The third destination is the Catacomb in Paris, France. In the heart of Paris lies a labyrinth of tunnels and crypts known as the Catacombs. This dark and eerie underground world is the final resting place for over 6 million Parisians, dating back to the 18th century. The catacombs were created to alleviate the overcrowding of Parisian cemeteries, and the bones of the deceased were carefully arranged to create stunning and eerie displays. The catacombs have a dark and eerie atmosphere, and many visitors report feeling a sense of unease and uneasiness while exploring this underground world. The tunnels are filled with the remains of Parisians, and it's not uncommon to come across a pile of bones or a skull while exploring. As you venture into the heart of the catacombs, you'll encounter a world that is both fascinating and frightening. The bones of the deceased are arranged in intricate display, and the haunting atmosphere of the tunnels will leave you feeling like you've stepped back in time. But beware, for the catacombs are not just home for the remains of the deceased, but to rumors of ghostly sightings and eerie sounds. Some say that the spirits of the dead still haunt these tunnels, and that the ghostly sounds of footsteps and whispers can be heard echoing through the catacombs. So if you're brave enough to venture into the dark and haunted underworld of Paris and unravel the secrets of the catacombs, the experience will be one you'll never forget. The next is the island of the dolls in Mexico. Just a short boat ride from Mexico City, a dark and foreboding island awaits. The island of the dolls is a place where the line between reality and nightmare is blurred. As you step into the shore, you'll be greeted by an army of dolls hanging from every tree, their eyes following your every move. This once peaceful place has been transformed into a living nightmare by the former owner, Don Julian. It is said that Don Julian collected the dolls in an attempt to appease the spirit of a young girl who drowned in the nearby waters. But instead of calming the ghostly presence, He only served to awaken a dark and malevolent entity that now haunts the island. If you dare to venture further, you may encounter the ghost of Don Julian himself, still roaming the island, driven mad by the spirit that haunt him. This is a place where fear and terror awaits at every turn. So if you're brave enough to face the unknown, come and discover the dark and haunted world of the Island of the Dolls. Last but not the least is the tower in London, England. There lies a place where fear and darkness reign. The Tower of London, a place where centuries of terror and sufferings are etched to its very walls. This historic fortress has been the site of countless beheadings, including those royalty, politicians, and even witches. Its walls still bear witness to horror that took place within. Visitors reported ghostly apparitions and mysterious occurrences, as if the spirits of those who suffered and died within its walls still roam the tower, seeking revenge. Some say they've seen the ghost of Anne Boleyn, her neck still bearing the masks of her beheading. Others claim to have encountered the spirits of prisoners who perished within its walls, their screams still echoing through the halls. And if you dare to venture into the depths of the tower, you may encounter the ghost of the executioner himself, still carrying out his brutal work. This is a place where fear is palpable and the darkness is all-consuming. So if you have the courage to face your fears and come and explore the haunted and mysterious world of the Tower of London, beware. The ghost that resides within may not let you leave unchanged. As you leave these dark and eerie destinations, remember that the past is never far behind. The ghosts and spirits of those who once lived, loved, and perished in these haunted and forbidden places still linger. And who knows, you might just be lucky enough to catch a glimpse of them. Until next time, keep exploring the unknown and keep an open mind, because sometimes the things that you go bumped in the night are more real than you think. If you like this kind of videos, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe.